The waiting room at the tire place smells like burnt coffee and warm rubber. It's 8:40 on a Sunday. You're third on the clipboard, and a cooking show plays on the corner TV with the sound off. Your phone sits face up on your knee. On the screen is the quote the guy printed at the counter 2 minutes ago. 4 tires, mounted and balanced. $840 out the door. You already know the number in your checking account. $611 until Friday. So the $840 goes on the card, the one that reset to 22.15% back in the spring, and the math starts running before you can stop it. Put $840 on a card at 22% and pay the $35 minimum every month, and you're still paying for these tires deep into next year. By the time they're actually yours, they've cost you closer to $1,000. Down the row, a man argues with someone on the phone about a brake job. The coffee machine gurgles and spits. You look back at the quote, and the part that bothers you isn't the $840. It's that you sat in this same chair 14 months ago on a cheaper set, the $520 ones the last shop sold you because they were fine for now. Fine for now. You've been buying fine for now your entire adult life, and you're starting to suspect it might be the most expensive habit you own. The guy at the counter gives his name to the tech as Trevor. He's loading a set of the budget tires into the back of an Altima with a car seat already buckled in. You catch the last of it as you walk up. He waves off the longer-lasting set, tells the tech to just run the 24-month financing. He'll worry about it later. He's not wrong to want to drive home today. His kid's nap is on a clock. He pulls out of the lot and you never see him again. So you're left at the counter with 2 numbers. The $520 set is rated for about 40,000 miles. The $840 set is rated for 70,000. You drive roughly 14,000 miles a year. That means the cheap ones are bald in under 3 years, and the good ones make it past 5. Run it all the way out. The cheap set is $520 every 3 years. So across 6 years, you buy 2 of them. $1,040, plus a second morning of mounting and balancing and sitting right here. The good set is $840 one time. Same 6 years. The fine for now option costs you $200 more, and a Sunday you'll never get back. You point at the $840 set, not because you're flush. You're not. You point at it because you finally ran the arithmetic that people with money run without noticing they're doing it. The number on the sticker is not the cost of the thing. The cost of the thing is the sticker divided by how long it lasts. If you've ever bought the cheap version of something twice, this next part is going to feel a little personal, so go ahead and subscribe now while it's on your mind, because these decisions only get bigger from here. You sign the slip, 40 minutes pass, the new tires go on, and the car feels planted on the short drive across the lot to the big box store, where you need a furnace filter and light bulbs, and the 9 other things stacked on the list in your phone. The boots find you before the filters do. They're on an end cap near the seasonal aisle. One pair runs $34.99, soles glued instead of stitched. The exact boot you've bought 6 or 7 times because the toe splits open around month 10 and the tread goes slick by winter. Beside them sits a pair of Red Wings, made in Minnesota. $310, heavy, plain, built to be resoled instead of thrown out. You stand there and do the boot math you've never let yourself do. $35 a year, every year, comes to $350 over a decade. And you still have soaked socks every February. The Red Wings run $310 up front, plus a Risole every few years at around $130. Over 10 years, that lands near $570. $570 is more than $350. The clean internet version of this story skips right past that, but you have never once made a cheap pair last a full year. You rebuy them twice, sometimes 3 times, so your real 10-year number on the cheap boots sits closer to $700, and every one of those winters your feet were wet. A writer named Terry Pratchett put this whole idea into a novel back in the 90s, a broke watchman who couldn't afford the good boots, and so paid more for bad ones for the rest of his life. You don't buy the Red Wings today. $310 isn't in this trip, and you're honest with yourself about that, but you hang the cheap pair back on the hook too. That's the new part. 2 aisles down, mattresses stand on their sides in plastic sleeves. You stop because you remember what this used to be. 2 years ago, you finally spent $1,100 on a real one. Your back stopped aching inside a week. You started sleeping the whole night through. And the $6 iced coffee you used to buy every single afternoon just to keep your eyes open, you can't remember the last time you ordered one. Run that number too. $6 a day, 5 days a week, is $1,560 a year. The mattress paid for itself in under 9 months and then went completely silent in your budget. It doesn't show up anywhere anymore. It holds you up every night and asks nothing. Nobody congratulated you for that one. There was no moment. You stopped being tired, and you stopped spending $30 a week to fake not being tired, and the whole thing sank into the background of your life, which is exactly what it was supposed to do. The hardware aisle has the drills. You've killed 2 cheap ones already, the $39 combo kits, both dead inside a year with batteries that quit holding charge. On the shelf now is a brushless DeWalt, $149 with 2 batteries. You've seen how this goes. The cheap one is $39 that becomes $78 that becomes $117 as you rebuy it. Weaker every time, and the batteries are never in stock the week you need them. The $149 one outlives the whole decade. Into the cart it goes. Furnace filter, bulbs, the drill. You check out, load the trunk on top of the box the tires came in, and drive home in a car that finally doesn't shudder at 65. At the kitchen table, you open the laptop because the last few of these don't come in a cart and never did. They live behind logins, and they're the ones that matter most. Your savings account is the one you opened in high school. It pays 0.38%. About $4,000 sits in it, the closest thing you have to an emergency fund, and at 0.38% that money earns you around $15 a year for existing. You open a new tab and pull up a high-yield savings account paying right around 4%. The same $4,000 there earns closer to $160 a year. Same money, same safety, both FDIC insured up to the limit. The only difference is which bank holds it. You move it over. 11 minutes, start to finish. You will never think about that decision again, and it will pay you every month for the rest of your life. Next tab, a brokerage account you opened last year and then ignored. You set up an automatic buy, $300 on the first of every month, straight into VOO, the Vanguard fund that holds all 500 of the biggest American companies in a single ticket. You're not picking stocks. You're not watching charts at midnight. You're buying the whole thing once and letting it run. The market's long-run average, the baseline most planners use, sits somewhere close to 10% a year over decades. Nobody can promise that number, and you know it. But run it against the rule of 72, where you divide 72 by your return to see how long your money takes to double. At 10%, that's about every 7 years. So $300 a month, if the next 40 years behave anything like the last 40 did, isn't just $300. Left alone, it's the start of a balance that doubles, and then the bigger balance doubles again. And you set the whole thing up one Sunday afternoon at a kitchen table with a lukewarm coffee next to the laptop. One more login. The work benefits portal, the one you set up on day one and never touched. Your employer matches 50 cents on the dollar up to 6% of your pay. You've been putting in 2% this whole time, which means the rest of that match has been sitting there, unclaimed, every single paycheck. Do the paycheck math. You make about $52,000. 6% of that is $3,120 a year out of your own check. The match adds another $1,560 on top. Free. Money that only exists if you show up to claim it. You've been walking past $1,560 a year because a slider on a website was set 2 points too low. You drag it to 6% and hit save. That's it. One slider. One Sunday. A raise you handed yourself that your boss will never know about. Before you close the laptop, sit with one honest question and drop it in the comments if you want, because I'm actually asking. What is the one cheap thing you keep rebuying over and over that you already know deep down you should have just bought right the first time? You close the laptop. The kitchen goes quiet. The furnace filter still sits on the counter in its plastic, and you'll get to it. Out in the driveway, the car rests on 4 tires you didn't cheap out on. You didn't get rich today. The card still carries $840, and you'll pay that down over a couple of months. The Red Wings are still hanging on the hook at the store, waiting for a Sunday when $310 fits. Your net worth this morning reads about what it read yesterday, and if you're under 35, the middle of the pack number in this country is around $39,000. So wherever you're standing on that climb, you've got plenty of company. Something did move, though, and it won't print on any statement. 6 times today, you refused to keep paying for Fine for Now. You ran the arithmetic that quietly separates the people who think about money constantly from the people who set a thing once and then get to forget it. The good tires won't send you back to that chair. The savings earns in the dark. The fund buys itself on the first while you sleep. The match fills every payday, whether you remember it or not. A few weeks from now, you'll come out to the car on a cold morning, key already in your hand, running late. The tires will grip. Nothing under the hood will make you flinch. You'll just drive. The heater ticking, the coffee going cold in the cup holder, the road exactly as loud as it always is. And not one thing in that car will cost you a single thought.